Hi and welcome. Today I'm real time, which is unusual, but I kind of wanted to do this one, not live, but real time, because of a product I'm using and just some quirks with it. Not really quirks. It's easy to use, but you just got to be careful with it kind of after you use it. So I have a tag. I put down a layer of salvaged patina, and I think I'm going to go ahead and add another layer just to get it good and blue or salvage patina-y. And I'm going to give it a little dry. And I'm going to then, I love this stencil, and I'm going to just kind of tape it down in a couple areas just to kind of make it not buckle. See how it's kind of up in the center there? I don't want that. So I'm going to try to, I don't want it covering the stencil though. Hold on. Or covering my tag, I guess I should say. All right, it's still buckling a little in the center, so maybe I'll have to hold it down when I do it. Okay, so I'm going to be using some resist spray. Resist spray is easy to use. You just spray it on. You want to make sure you get not a real thick, so it's gonna like seep underneath your stencil. But the tricky part comes with cleaning up and making sure you still have it to use next time. If you leave any in the nozzle, chances are it will clog, and I've heard people say that once it's clogged, you cannot get it unclogged. I've never had that happen because I'm very careful with it, but I just will show you what I do to make sure that does not happen. So I'm going to give a very light touch with it. I'm not going to make it so that it would seep underneath. And so I'm going to kind of come away a little bit. And I have to give it a couple pumps to start because there is nothing in my feeder tube. That's the only word I can come up with, because I empty it out after each time. So I have to give it a couple pumps to start it. And then I'm coming up so I get a light spray. And okay, so that is pretty good. And because there is still liquid in the feeder tube, and if I just were to spray like this, it would dribble out the bottom. I've done it, I know. So I'm holding it above the rest of the resist spray fluid, and I'm holding it so the end's above that. So whatever comes out the bottom will fall back into the container, and I will still get some spray coming out the top. And you might have one or two, maybe three short sprays. Okay, so that is done. I can put it back in here. It's not going to go anywhere because it's not going to feed any in. But I'm going to go and I'm going to clean that out. And then I'm going to come back, and I'll probably be voiceover when I come back, but I just wanted to come back and show you how it works and how to finish it. And you just lift it off. Voila. Okay, so I will be back soon. Okay, so I decided to continue on real time because there's a couple things I wanted to mention about the spray again. It's dry. It didn't take long to dry, but I don't think I mentioned how to clean the nozzle. I mentioned how important it was to clean, but once I'm done, I remove the nozzle. I put the feeder tube in some water and just pump until it's clean. And then I remove that from the water and pump until the water is gone. So in here, it is an empty nozzle, and the nozzle hole, spray hole, is clean. So that it was important, I thought. And then also, I keep this at my desk. It's pretty grody, but it is sanitizer and hand sanitizer. And so I am pretty messy when I art, and I keep this at my desk, and I need to refill it. But you'll get overspray, at least I do, unless you're very, very neat. You'll get overspray, and sanitizer, hand sanitizer will get that up. I just spread it on my mat and rub it in, and then take a paper towel and wipe it up. I'm pretty generous with it. So, but that will clean that up. I thought that was kind of important too, because my mat is nice and clean. I'm a kind of clean freak. Okay, so I'm gonna do something here. I haven't done it before, so I'm not sure how it's gonna turn out. I love doing rusty hinge with salvaged patina. But I've done that before, and I actually have a sample card. I keep like sample cards of my favorite things. So it's actually the same stencil that I did the sample card with. And so this is it with rusty hinge, and I love that. And I was using the resist spray with it on this piece. So I could do that, but I've kind of done that, I think, once or twice. So I'm going to use rusty hinge, but I'm not going to do it quite the same way. We'll see how it turns out. I'm going to come first back with salvage patina, and just, I'm thinking it might really be a kind of dark salvage patina on here, but we're going to find out. If it's the same as before, then I'm kind of like back to rusty hinge, but we'll see. So I'm going to take it. Okay, well, it isn't doing what I thought it might do. I mean, it is a little bit. You can see it's some. So if you wanted to do a two-tone, and I could do another blue, like, or you know what, oh, I might do that. So rusty hinge is pretty close. You can see it, but not as much as what I had hoped. I'm going to take then evergreen bough, which is a little bit greener, and come in with evergreen bough. Okay, now you can see it a lot more. It's not totally blue, and it's not totally green. So, okay, that's showing up a lot better. And you could leave it like that. I think that's beautiful. That is absolutely gorgeous. I hope you can see that. Beautiful. And I could even go darker blue, but I'm going to go to the rusty hinge. Gosh, that makes me want to try a bunch of these and see what colors I end up with. But I'm going to go to the rusty hinge, and I'm going to do it on top of the evergreen bough. And so I'm thinking it won't be quite as orange. And oh my gosh, look at the difference. That's gorgeous. All day long. I try to art every day, and I'm like, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous. Oh gosh, I love this. I hope you're loving this. Oh, that is beautiful. I'll do a little more in the center and see if that... Okay, now I'm gonna try rubbing it and see if my salvaged patina comes back a little more. If it doesn't, I think it is a little bit. Just getting it off the main salvage patina area. Oh, that's really pretty. I was actually using I was using my crackling campfire instead of my rusty hinge. I mean, I was using the rusty hinge pad, but my crackling campfire pad. That's okay. Because I think I'm going to come in with a little crackling campfire just to see, maybe just around the edges, just to see it brighten up a little bit. Okay, I do really like that. I'm thinking of coming back in though. I do this all the time. I go back and forth. Now I'm going to come back in with my salvage patina. Get some of that blue back in. Just in this area. Okay. Beautiful. I think that's gorgeous. All right, so I'm going to turn off the camera and come back. I like to play around with my collage, and I try out, if I were to record all that, it would take forever. But I'm going to come back once I've decided what I'm going to do, and I'll just do that with voiceover. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the flip side with the voiceover. Okay, I'm now back with a voiceover. I've selected several things. I won't be using all of them, but I found this butterfly that was kind of it's kind of a bluish mint green. I don't know, but it looked pretty good with the salvaged patina, but it looked plain. So I'm taking the stamp that's from Cadaverous, and I'm putting on some Versamark, and I'm gonna use some gold embossing powder. And because it's so small, I'm grabbing a pair of tweezers to just help me hold on to it with the heat. Now, I sometimes put mine away, my embossing powder away before I heat. Just be real careful, because if you could just blow that stuff everywhere. So I've embossed it. I know it was quick, you didn't get to see the whole thing. But it's shined so, the gold embossing powder is just so beautiful. It's like dripping gold. I'm going to add some rusty hinge just around the edges of the butterfly, just to kind of tie it in some more to the tag. You really can't see it a lot. It just gives a real small hint of the rusty color. You know, I should have thought of that. I could have even gone over the butterfly with salvaged patina to make it a closer color, but I kind of like that it's not exactly the same. And then I thought I would put just a few rusty hinge spatters on it. Not many, just a few. And I'll dry that. I'm going to add some vintage photo around the pieces of ephemera that I use. I'm really not using that many on this piece because honestly I like the background so much. I didn't want to cover up much of it. I am going around the edges of the tag with walnut stain just to kind of give it a edge, a border. To me, it kind of holds the piece together, kind of giving it a border. So I'm kind of choosing things that are give the feel of being rusty. So I have this circle. It's actually a piece of ephemera that is digital, that is a circle, and so they designed it to be a circle. And then I'm using a number. It's got a little bit of rustiness on it. And then lastly, I pulled out a piece of Tim Holtz ephemera. I'm not sure which one it's from. But it's kind of got a bluish salvage patina-y kind of look to it. And I think that's going to be all I'm adding except for my sentiment. I like to often hang my circles just over the edge of the tag just to kind of give it a little bit of different shape. And the butterfly, I typically only do the body portion so that the wings can fly. And I'm just kind of looking to see what else it needs. And not often do I do it, but I take a gold paint pen and just give it a couple of its antennae. They really, you can't see them a whole lot other than when you kind of shift in the light and you see it. But that is a paint pen, so I'm just shooting it a little bit to dry it. I'm going to do two more things. I just don't remember which ones I do first. Okay, so I'm going to give it a ribbon. And I'm going to use Rusty Hinge. Oh, well, okay, I stopped mid-thing. I'm taking my salvaged patina Spritz, and I just drop from the feeder tube. That's what I'm calling it now. I don't know if there's a different name for it, but I'm calling it a feeder tube. And just kind of dropping a few of the Spritz. You have to shake that first, or else it'll just be clear things you're dropping. So I did shake it, and now I think I'm going to do the ribbon. I'm going to use Rusty Hinge and Salvage Patina. This rayon seam binding is available in my Amazon shop if you're interested. It doesn't cost you anymore, and it gives me a few cents. I like this stuff because it really keeps the color good, and if you dry it good enough, sometimes I don't wait long enough, then it will keep that little wrinkly, crinkly look. I don't protect the hole in my tag. It's not really doing anything but sitting on a ring in my office, so I don't see any need to do that. But I still am kind of careful when I'm pulling that ribbon through, just to keep it from ripping the tag hole. The last thing I'm going to do is add a sentiment. I'm going to use Tim Holtz Small Talk. I'm going to grab a black one. I want a black one because I do have a little bit of black going on. And I find one that says, be open to whatever comes next. And even though it is a sticker book and it is sticky on the back, I always glue mine down just so that, 5 years from now, I don't look at it and the sentiments are falling off or peeling back. So I just make sure I glue it down, just a little bit of glue. And that is it. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you haven't subscribed, I invite you to do that. If you like this one, please give me a thumbs up. Either way, I hope you have an awesome day. Stay tuned for the final pictures, which are coming up any second now. And see you guys next time.